This episode contains discussions of emotional abuse, coercive control, threats, anxiety, mental health, and workplace-related intimidation. Listener discretion is advised, as these topics may be distressing for those who have experienced similar situations. Welcome back to After the Quiet. This is episode 84. When I think about the beginning of 2019, I don't remember making New Year's resolutions. I remember surviving. The holidays were over, the kids went back to school, I went back to teaching. From the outside, life looked normal. Inside, everything had changed. I had finally recognized that I was living in an abusive relationship. I had started therapy. I had quietly spoken with a lawyer. For the first time, I wasn't just trying to survive my marriage. I was beginning to imagine life outside of it. I don't know if he sensed that something had changed. Maybe he noticed I wasn't responding the same way. Maybe he realized I wasn't accepting his version of reality anymore. Or maybe it was simply another attempt to gain more control. Whatever the reason, the first week back after Christmas holidays became another turning point. It was Friday. I was at work teaching my class when the text messages started. At first, I assumed it was something about the kids. Instead, the messages were about me. He told me I needed to take a leave of absence from work. According to him, I was suffering from depression. He insisted I shouldn't be teaching. Then the messages became more aggressive. He gave me a deadline. If I didn't tell my principal by 3 o'clock that I needed to take a leave from work, he would do it himself. Not only would he contact my principal, he threatened to contact my superintendent too. I remember reading those messages and feeling sick. This wasn't concern. If someone truly believes the person they love is struggling, they don't issue ultimatums. They don't threaten their livelihood. They don't use fear to force compliance. This wasn't support. This was another attempt to take control. Teaching had always been one of the few places where I still felt like myself. Even though I had struggled over the previous months, even though the panic attacks had affected me, my classroom was still my space. My students still needed me. My colleagues supported me. It was one area of my life that he couldn't completely control. Or at least, he hadn't yet. Now he was trying to change that. I spent the afternoon trying to teach while my phone filled with threatening messages. Every time I looked down, my heart started racing. Would he really do it? Would he call? Would he embarrass me? Would he damage my reputation? By that point, I knew he was capable of contacting people in my life. He had already messaged one of my coworkers, so this threat didn't feel empty. It felt real. Eventually, I made a decision. I went to my principal. I showed him what was happening. I explained the threats. I explained that he said he would call if I didn't report myself. He was shocked. I still remember his reaction. He wasn't angry with me. He was angry that this was happening. He looked at me and he said something I've never forgotten. "You need to do something." At the time, those words felt overwhelming because I wanted to do something. I just didn't know how. Leaving isn't one decision. It's hundreds of decisions. Where will I live? What about the kids? Can I afford it? Will anyone believe me? What if he does everything he's threatening? Those questions kept me frozen for a long time. But something was different now. For months, I had been gathering information. Therapy had helped me understand what I was experiencing. A lawyer had started explaining my legal options. And now my workplace was seeing pieces of what I had been living with. The abuse wasn't hidden anymore. That afternoon, I contacted my lawyer again. Not because I was suddenly ready to leave, but because every week seemed to bring another escalation. The threats were getting bigger. The control was expanding. First, it had been my friendships. Then, my social media. Then, my phone. Then, my finances. Now it was my career. One thing I've learned since leaving is that coercive control often doesn't stay contained. It spreads. Once someone succeeds in controlling one part of your life, they often move on to the next, until eventually you feel like there isn't a single part of your life that truly belongs to you. Looking back now, I don't think this was about whether I was healthy enough to teach. If he had been truly concerned about my mental health, he could have encouraged me to see my doctor. He could have supported me in therapy. He could have asked how he could help. Instead, he threatened to contact my employer if I didn't do what he wanted. There's a difference between concern and control. Concern asks, "How can I help?" Control says, "Do this or I'll do it for you." For a long time, I confused those two things. I believed his actions came from worry. Now I understand they came from power. One of the hardest parts about emotional abuse is that it slowly convinces you that you're incapable, that you can't make your own decisions, that someone else always knows better. My therapist was helping me rebuild something that had been slowly taken away over nearly 20 years. Trust in myself. And that trust was beginning to grow. Very slowly. Very quietly. I didn't know exactly when I would leave, but I knew something with absolute certainty. I couldn't keep living like this. Because every time I thought he'd reach a new low, he found another way to tighten his grip. Thank you for listening to After the Quiet. If this episode resonated with you, please follow, share, and leave a review. Your support helps others recognize that abuse doesn't always happen behind closed doors. Sometimes it follows you to work. Sometimes it threatens your livelihood. And sometimes the people around you become the first to say, "This isn't okay." Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep finding your way through the quiet.